Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It's Maverick here with episode 9 of Munou na Nana. So, we are at a pivotal moment in the anime, right? Where Nana is being confronted by Kyoya, publicly accused, and Kyoya believes he has the smoking gun as evidence on Nana, which is Habu's cell phone. Habu being the girl that Nana killed last episode. Or one of the two anyways, the Garu girl, if you will. Now, even though Nana, of course, has been doing an admirable job up to this point, I have said many times that she's acting a little bit too recklessly, considering, there's no hint of a more long-term plan behind all her actions, right? She's relying on her wits, she's making snap decisions, but it's inevitably going to catch up to her sometime, and that time might be now. However, from a more meta perspective, this is fairly early on into this series, right? So I don't really think she's going to be caught red-handed this early on. Certainly if she managed to get through this situation, right? Because it was kind of unclear at the end of last episode. They purposely teased us and didn't really show anything that Kyoya found. So if she does manage to, if she had managed to think of this ahead in advance and dodge this particular accusation and whatnot, she's gonna be like smooth sailing for at least a few more, heck, 10 more episodes or something of time, right? Because you only get these sort of accusations once or twice, and then after that, you're free, and then people drop all suspicion of you, and so on and so forth. So this is going to be very pivotal. How exactly she's going to turn this situation will decide how the series is going to go forward. So, with that being said, let's jump into the episode. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. I mean, I'm still... Okay. Nothing. Nothing. How? Okay. She wouldn't have an alibi. So she went for plan C. Yeah, there was this scene, right? Kyoya is absolutely convinced it's Nana. Right, there we go, plan C. See? Mechanical means, what did I say? Although, I would... Personally, I would have used an ice method, but... But while they were burning the bodies, they didn't find a phone? I feel like that's kind of a plot hole, though. Yeah. See, Kirya's not going to be able to do anything in a short while. Mm-hmm. Really? That's laying it on a little bit thick, isn't it, Nana? So at this point, Nana is basically saying she's not going to try and convince Kirya anymore, basically. Yeah. Although, frankly, Kirya should realize that as well, right? Because he believes that Nana has mind-reading powers. So, Nana would absolutely know what Kirya is thinking. See? Honestly, like, if we were going to try... If we were going to try and look at this situation from Kirya's perspective... Like, how would we go about trying to catch Nana? Like, if we still assume that Nana actually had this power of reading minds. Like, once you formulate some theories within your mind, she would absolutely know what you were trying to go at already. Yeah, she's just following. From her perspective, she's following orders. What the hell? We got 2 actors in the group! Damn. She's not the only one with actress training. This is going to further solidify Nana's feelings that these are all enemies of humanity. That's sort of like a test, right? If she can read minds or not. Yeah. See, that's a test. Oh, this is lunchtime already? How are you? Damn, that was a nice one. When did she do that? You did, right? Michiru's like, ah, I will get you. Hmm. Yeah, see, he can't go with acquisitions that early. Yeah, he also understands. Like if this is a game, you would need to get to a certain get to a certain level before you can accuse someone. Oh. Yeah, her hand was wounded last night. I actually didn't notice that. I was like, why didn't she call her Nana-shan? Again, back last night. Oh. I thought this was like a teacher or something. Holy shit. This is the guy from the opening. So this guy has basically been living on the island all this time? I... Okay. So what is he trying to do? Hmm. Oh. You know, I would have never thought he was just a few years her senior. He seriously looks like a teacher to me. Saved my life once. The cat? Holy shit. Where did you get all this knowledge, Kyoya? We just started killing each other. What? Or is this the work of Nana's predecessor? Hmm. Okay. Again, I do wonder if this was actually a psychological warfare done by Nana's predecessor. I definitely think this is deliberate. Time Stopper and a future seal. I think Nana poisoned the coffee. So he actually went back and then immediately came back to the island. Huh. Then why are you allying with Nana? It's pretty clear she is part of the... This... Yep, there's the poison. Wait, so this dude literally just came out to die? Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Oh, it's the guy. Okay. So he did realize. I was like... Oh, he purposely drew her out. Damn. Holy shit. So he can literally copy anybody's power? Holy shit. Holy shit. This is the final boss. Oh wow, this is a great episode. See you guys after this. Oh boy, I thought this episode was going to be a pivotal moment in the series, but I didn't realize that we were going to get this pivotal, right? Suddenly, a lot of things are happening, and this Tachibana guy, man. For a second there, I was really worried. I was like, holy shit, is it really going to be so lame as to be poisoned immediately after he reveals himself? I thought that was, surely he had an ace up his sleeve, but I didn't realize that it was this kind of ace up his sleeve, right? Being able to change into literally anyone and also copy their powers as well. Whew! And not to mention, having powers is one thing, right? But having the foresight and the intelligence, the knowledge to utilize all this to set traps for Nana, right? So this entire thing was essentially one big trap, so that at the end he could isolate Nana, he could allow Nana to think that she could defeat him, and then at the very end there, force Nana to, not even force basically, but just gradually bump her into the direction where she's going to reveal who she's actually working for and all of that. Right? That is just brilliant. And another thing I love is how he mentions at the end of the art of misdirection, right? A magician uses misdirection and whatnot. And certainly he fulfilled that all the way from the very beginning up to now, and even during his reveal, right? If you guys recall, during the cliff scene between fake Michiru and Nana, he purposely glanced to the side, Nana being the very cautious person that she is, instantly thinking there might be an ambush or something, and then, using that split second, he changed into his true self, right? Now, with that being said, obviously, we need to start looking at how can we defeat this character, right? Like, what are his powers, what are his weaknesses, what are his motives, right? So, and especially this entire thing about misdirection, that instantly got me thinking, perhaps he has one glaring weakness here, and this is just a theory at this point, but I do think that there might be some, I do think that I can make a pretty good case out of this, and that is, my theory, well, first of all, let's assume that he can only use his abilities once he's changed into somebody else, right? I don't know if that's true or not, right? For instance, the poison here, some people might say, hey, he didn't exactly change into someone who could have poison, anti-poison abilities, so how come he wasn't poisoned? He wasn't actually poisoned. Well, I think if he was aware of this situation in the first place, he probably could have just not actually sipped the coffee, right? And was just instead pretending to do so. So my fear right now is actually that he has to change into someone else in order to use their abilities, and also perhaps he can't change if someone is looking directly at him, right? Because if we think about it, I don't know whether this is just a deliberate excuse by the animators so that they wouldn't have to draw the transformation scenes and whatnot, right? That could also be a possibility, and if it is, well, that's sort of like a red herring, right? But right now, based on what I see, I'm thinking that perhaps his weakness is that he can't transform into other beings if he's currently being watched, right? It has to be when, that would seem like a pretty dumb weakness, to be honest, and a pretty glaring weakness as well, but I don't know, I mean, it's just something, right? Because he's got to have a weakness. Everybody who has power has a weakness. That's definite, right? And I don't think his weakness can actually be covered by all the other powers that he gets either. So that's just my initial thought right now. It might be a case where he can only use powers if he transforms into said person, and then also he might not be able to transform if somebody is currently watching him. So that's my two guesses right now as to what his weaknesses are. Now, another thing here is we need to talk about his motive, right? So why has he chosen to come back here? Is he truly just trying to find out the bottom of this government conspiracy and whatnot? Or does he have more sinister plans, right? Certainly, the fact that he says he can basically copy everybody's abilities, and yet he's still, he's choosing to lay low, he's not revealing himself and whatnot. There's various reasons that he could be doing this. He certainly doesn't exactly strike me as a hero of justice, right? That kind of character. It's just that the vibe that he gives off doesn't really fit that kind of style. So I don't know. I highly doubt that he's trying to do all this just to expose the plan, if you will. And indeed, I feel like if you really wanted to go around and try to expose, like, who was the one conspiring to do all this, to kill off talented and whatnot, you don't need to stay on the island. You can literally go and see like where the other faculty members are going to. Like there's always a logistic chain that you can trace, right? There's no reason for you to specifically stay on the island. So somehow I think that he has some other motives as well, and so figuring that out is going to be very important, because only then can we actually do negotiations right now, right? Otherwise, Nana being an untalented, being someone who doesn't have any special talents and whatnot, she is at a major disadvantage right now, right? And she doesn't really have any bargaining chips as well. She's got to figure that out first before she can do anything. Right. So, absolutely love this. We got a real antagonist character now. Beyond that, of course, we have to talk a little bit about Kyoya, right? And of course, the entire accusation scene. So, pretty much went as I expected. The cell phone wasn't on Nana, and she did use a sort of mechanical means in order to do it. It's not all that surprising. A lot of detective stories feature murders that utilize some similar similar methods as well, some sort of perfect alibi situation where the killer basically rigs up some sort of contraption in order for them to have a perfect alibi at the time of death of the victim or something like that. And the most commonly used one is actually ice, right? Ice melting. You can make a lot of mechanical contraptions that way. In this case, Nana decided to use corpses. I mean, I'm not going to go into the details of that. As long as she provides an explanation of how she did that, I think that's fine enough with me. We don't really need to go into the nitty-gritty and try to see if it was really a plausible situation or not, right? And go into the science of all that, like can the corpse really melt that quickly under sunlight, blah blah blah. I don't think that's really important. What's important is that she already thought of this, right? And she already thought of trying to make some other sort of mechanical way to send a message so that she can have the perfect alibi. So that's that. Kyoya, as mentioned, you can't just go around making accusations, right? Especially with Nana here, having public opinion behind her, you really need to be 100% sure before you can do anything here, right? And so, Kyoya certainly used up his chance, and he's going to have, like I said, there's going to be a long period now, right? A period spanning like various different episodes. Potentially, we're not going to see any more accusations from Kyoya in this anime season, right? Because he can only do this kind of thing if he's 100% sure. And in fact, I'm actually kind of surprised that he jumped the gun as early as he did. He certainly was very confident in all that, but I'm just thinking, right? If he truly does believe that Nana has mind reading powers and all that, how can he not I guess I don't know, because if we try to think about things from Kyoya's perspective, right, honestly some of his actions don't really make a lot of sense either, like jumping the gun this early and trying to confront Nana this early, even though he knows that she can read his mind and what he's planning to do, she probably knows, right? So, I don't know. I guess he might have thought that he completely cornered her from the very beginning, so that since he had his eyes on Nana all this time, even if Nana truly knows what Kyoya is trying to pull off and whatnot, she can't really do anything about it. That's my best guess as to the entire situation. But certainly, I feel like it's a fun kind of exercise to do, right? Like, if you are in Kyoya's position, and you truly believe that your enemy could read minds, how exactly are you going to go and resolve this situation, right? Because anything that you plan, the enemy would know. So it's something, right? It's really something. How exactly will that work? I'm not even sure if I can find an adequate answer for that. So I don't know. What do you guys think? I certainly can't think of a good way to fool Nana if we truly believe that to be the case. Which, of course, that isn't the case. But still, what I'm saying here is Kyoya believes that is the case. Anyways, beyond that, and then one final discussion point I would like to take away from this episode is the Civil War that Tachibana Jin mentioned, right? So, I don't know, the entire premise seems kind of suspicious and fishy to me. Certainly, it could be, I feel like there's three different scenarios that this could have came from. One is, this is actually complete, as Tachibana said, this was completely organic, right? It's just a simple case of people having tempers and whatnot, and sowing seeds of distrust between each other until eventually, even though, they weren't really meant to be or anything. It just happened, right? So it happened more organically. It happened naturally, and that was the result of everything that happened 5 years ago. So that's one thing, right? We just believe what Tachibana said. However, I truly think that is not the case. And two alternative theories I have right now. One is this was entirely set up by Tachibana Jin himself, right? He orchestrated the civil war because, he's a big bad guy, and he wants to, he has some other plans that he wants to do, right? And this ties back in with what I'm talking about in terms of his motive as well. So we need to understand that before you can understand whether or not he's telling the truth in this particular situation. So that is one thing. And the third thing, of course, would be maybe this was actually all done, the Civil War was sparked by, the government powers, the organizational powers or whatnot, right? Whether it was directly Nana's predecessor, or maybe they just used some more subtle methods to sow seeds of distrust within the talented and whatnot. That is also a possibility here. Certainly, I would say that's a pretty plausible explanation as well, because, they've been using this island for how many years now? And, especially since I mentioned this last episode as well, where I was kind of confused that Nana was surprised that, there were this many bodies and so on and so forth, right? Because I would have thought that she would truly know that, hey, this same situation has been going on through many generations now. She's not the first to do this kind of thing. She had some predecessors as well. Unless, of course, she's making more of a comment on how her predecessor did things so sloppily and left bodies all over the place, right? Which is, I guess, also a possibility. So, but one thing's for sure, I definitely don't believe Tachibana when he says that this was all, completely organic, and the talented just naturally started to distrust and hate each other and break out into civil war. I feel like there was definitely something else behind them pushing this on, whether it's that's Tachibana or whether that's the shady government organizations or whatnot. That's for another time and place, right? So anyways, awesome episode. This series is just getting better and better. I love the twist in this episode as well. Certainly caught me by surprise at the very end there with Tachibana's powers. And, well, first things first, right? We need to investigate Tachibana first, make sure we know what his powers, what his weaknesses are, try to find it out at least. And then, of course, the motives, and then we can talk about the bigger background of the story and all that. So, anyways, great episode. I'll see you guys next week as well. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.